Hey everybody, it's Tuesday. Apparently this Sunday, over the weekend, Jack Tramiel of Commodore, the man most responsible for the Commodore 64, died at age 83. I don't know much about the guy as an individual. I know some about his tenure with Commodore, some about his tenure with Atari, but I never really knew much about him as an individual. When he was doing all this stuff with the C64 and everything, it was before game makers became personalities. It was before you saw people like Miyamoto. It's before you saw guys like Yu Suzuki. Even before guys like Bill Gates and Steve Jobs had names for themselves. But also I had to consider the fact that I was a kid. Wouldn't give two shits. But what I knew about him was his product. The Commodore 64 was fantastic. As a kid, our first two consoles were the VIC-20 and the Commodore 64, two Commodore PCs. We never really used them for their PC aspect. We were too young, my brother and I. You know, we're not going to go through and learn how to program in BASIC, and we didn't need a word processor in elementary school. So they were essentially our first consoles. They were the best thing. You know, they definitely were great for us before the NES came out, and even a good bit after. My two favorite games that I remember off the top of my head for the Commodore 64, the first was Radar Rat Race, and you essentially played a little mouse running around a maze trying to get cheese and not get caught by some cats chasing you. And it was just really fun. It was simple arcade racing around. It wasn't until last year, maybe the year before, that I realized that I found out that it was a clone of Namco's Rally X, or maybe New Rally X, I forget which. And once I found that out, I just started playing a whole bunch of New Rally X. Good game, but simple. The one that I really remember, that I really loved, was Mail Order Monsters. The cover art was a sort of Godzilla-looking, you know, dinosaur guy with like a bandolier of grenades bursting through a wall coming at you, which is definitely going to grab a little kid's attention, and had the logo for the company that made it, you know, ECA, little company that goes by its just shortened name now, EA, or Electronic Arts. So this is probably the first EA game that I ever played. The idea behind it excuse me, was that you could get mail order monsters. You would create these various combatants. It was kind of like an action fighting game where you would choose from a number of different base types. You know, a hominid, a tyrannosaur type, a brontosaur type, some sort of crab, lobster. I think there might have been a plant or a fungus or something. Maybe 6, 12, I don't know how many different types. And then on top of that, you would choose parts. Tentacles, stingers, hands to hold weapons, I think even gills, so you could go through poison clouds without getting choked. Excuse me. It was really cool. It was just a simple, you know, you'd make your little monster, and you go on this black background fighting arena, and you dodge around. The bullets are shooting at each other and trying to attack each other with your claws and shit. And it was really, really fun. As I mentioned a while back when I was talking about Street Fighter Cross Tekken, I love customization in games. I love the ability to make things be the way you want them to be. And I think this game was the one that really kind of introduced that to me. Before that, games were Pac-Man, you know, Donkey Kong, Galaga. Great games, but just, you didn't have any investment. You just did things. In this game, it became a competition between my brother and I to see who could make the better monster, who could make the cooler monster, who could do the neat things, you know, and it was a really good game. So I have a lot of fond memories of that game and of that system. So I just wanted to thank Mr. Tramiel for his contribution to the gaming industry, for what he did for my brother and I, you know, giving us this great game. I really do think that things would not be the same without the C64. It really did kind of drive a lot of development, especially for home consoles. You know, after the first crash, the Commodore 64 kind of acted as a bridge between that crash and the coming of the NES and the Master System and stuff like that. So it was really important for what we have today. You go back now, and you listen to any chip tunes or see some of this retro art and stuff, sure, a lot of it goes back to NES, but a lot of it is referencing the C64. It's a good thing. So if you guys have any memories of a C64 or a VIC-20 or shit, an Amiga, if you had an Amy, drop a comment down below. Toss in a response video, talk about what your favorite games were, your favorite accessories, like your stupid tape drives, like cassette tape drives were so fun. Let me know how you guys feel about the old Commodore 64, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye.